Today, just want to share with you some of the challenges and areas of improvement. You can consider this as a lesson learned for day-to-day activities. I'm coming from the convergent industry. I started as a shift in charge, my career since 16 years back. And there is a lot of lesson learned, and we can interact in this session, which can be beneficial for the leaders and to talk about these cases, let's say, and how we can solve and how we can build up a robust baseline to participate in the success and growth for the companies and the organization that we are working for. It named with leading operations team through volatility and industrial challenges. So in today's dynamic industrial environment, operations leaders can often forced to navigate through volatility, production disturbance, and resources limitation. The session will explore how to lead the manufacturing teams throughout pressure-filled situation by balancing urgencies, qualities, and long-term sustainability. Drawing from real on-the-ground experience, sharing lessons learned from moments of crisis and how the right leadership approach turns instability in operation strength. As an introduction, Director of Production with frontline experience managing complex operation in Saudi industrial sector, mainly in the convergent industry. For the rapid growth, rising complexity, and shifting customers' expectation to redefining what it means to lead operation, and the main objective to have an interactive session with you. It's isn't theory, it's a leadership framework forged in real production pressure. For the core operational disruption, what leaders face on the ground. Real world challenges aren't abstract, they show up in daily form. For example, you will have sudden volume spikes that strain planning and inventory, unexpected order. What should we do with this type of requests? What usually we should do? We should respond to the abnormalities. We should refuse and lose the opportunity, not only for this case, it might lead and affect the operation with customers. In such routine, what action that you prefer to go through? Let's interact. Yeah, if I have the plan, I have all of this orders, it is planned, it is organized, it is reflected with time frame. If I'm willing to push for this supply customers, there will be another client. He will delay the supply.
But I believe we can organize that as an operation team with the planning and sales in advance. We will tell, okay, we can meet the demand for this requirement, but we need to change the schedule of the loading. So there is a flexibility there should be, rather than moving with the fixed and lose the opportunity, as you say.
You are right. To be honest, the capability, it's really essential to succeed your plans. You need to be equipped with the right tools. You need to have enough capability to lead the fluctuation, let's say. This is some extra demand which is not expected. during the season, let's say. Something others, like the other case, what we can say here, it's unplanned downtime due to line or assets failure, especially for the infrastructure. Most of the factories, they are working on utility, switchgear, air compressors, chillers, cooling towers, etc. If there will be a failure in this, if you will have your infrastructure unplanned shortage of electricity, what should we do? I'm not talking here in a theoretical or something which is far from the reality. Yet there will be a pain, but we need to consider also a plan B. And I believe most of you here, gentlemen, they have facing the same. So if there is anybody can say in a short sentences such cases, we need to interact with you, gentlemen.
There is no plan. If there is no regular preventive maintenance, you will have unplanned downtime all the time. So the AM and PM need to be in place.
I agree with you, agree. So preventive maintenance usually can be conducted every 2,000 or every 3,000 hours of operations as the standard. However, if we plan for the preventive for 5 days, and unfortunately, once we open the equipment, we find something that needs to be extended. So there will be a consequence, and need to consider, again, the capability that we have, we need to be utilized. Also to consider some backup plan. For example, for our example, if we have shortage in power, we can consider the generator. We have to get in our list, on our mind, a plan B must be ready. I will tell you something about the raw material itself. Currently, we are satisfying with our suppliers. However, before getting in the bottleneck, we strive and we build, alternate, and substitute. We conduct the trial. We assure this material can be substituted by this, and we maintain this good relation. We are not waiting. It's really essential for us not to wait the accident happening and to deal with it under the pressure. This is one of the key success that maybe not most of the people, they would tell you about it. The other example, we can say a workforce shortage or supply chain bottlenecks that threaten delivery promises. From your perspective, we learned a very good lesson during the COVID-19. This will never be forgotten. Something unexpected we faced, and it's also the movement was restricted because of the pandemic. And I believe most of the leaders that lead some industrial operation by that time, they build something exceptional because they make some success, especially for the food production industry, where it's required to continue the supply chain moving on and to move on with some restricted rules. And this is maybe leaders can speak about their success story during that time. For us as a plastic manufacturers, we were supplying to them the packaging material. So we were with them in the pipeline, and we're doing the same practice. So these aren't one-off event. They often collide, forcing leaders to act with limited visibility and no room for error. A field-tested case, decision-making when time and risk collide. For an example, I bring to you one example which is occurred recently. A mission-critical client request emerged just as a key line was due for preventive maintenance. And this is the case. If we have the first example, once we have all of the lines in operations and we are maintaining the production lines and we are following the production plan. Another, we need to choose. We should pursue through the preventive maintenance and following the schedule, or we should satisfy our client and our sales department for the extra and unexpected quantity. Yeah, for the short term, we can pursue through prioritizing the client, run the line beyond its maintenance window. The outcomes, yes, we deliver, we success for the short term, but the line went down days later, causing extended downtime. And here is the lesson learned, what we can say. It depends if we think comprehensively to take in consider the business continuity, to take in consider the criticality for this client, we can decide and we can ask for advice from the team leaders, from the frontline operators, and from the decision maker across the company. Operational leadership in action, how to lead when stakes are high. So I would ask somebody from the audience, what usually your attitude during the rush or during the high stake or under the pressure? For you as a leader and you have a team need to listen from you, what the attitude that we should act during this. So we should be in rush, we should be in a vigorous or anger mood, or we should be calm down and understand the challenges and identify for the execution. Who can support me in this point of view? But here is the challenges, how you can calm down once there is
exactly.
extended pressure on your shoulder.
That is the leadership quality we need to have in us.
So you can tell us about the skills that you need to be maintained during this execution.
We need to have analytical behavior, and we need to assess our team's skills and sit together and take the opinions from all the people and take a decision and then move on.
Nice. And there is a proverb, they said, aim small, miss small. We can identify, we can break the main goal into a small pieces.
Exactly.
We can distribute the team into a small group.
Exactly, yeah.
And we need to be closer for the execution. You know, my office, it is closer to the operation, by the way. It's only a few meters by the production line. So I prefer to hear the motors moving on rather than sitting in silence. And then this is one of the advantages that maybe some people, they don't like to.
Yeah.
So here, pressure reveals culture. Leaders either amplify the noise or bring orders. So this is one of the key success we need to maintain. Yes, based on the challenges, based on the projects that you're leading on the same time, it depends on how the capacity that you can maintain. Some leaders, they will be collapsed afterward, and hopefully nobody of us will have this case. Strategic takeaways, what makes a resilient operations leaders? Real leadership shows when the plan breaks. One of the lessons learned in one department, there was hunger and it was overloaded. It was a cyclone, overload on the roof itself, and one department totally collapsed. While the other department need to have this semi-finish from that department. By that time, I think it was during 2014. Because of the relation with I wouldn't say they are competitors. They can be your outsource in one day. So by a support, by off-record empowerment from the owners himself, We strive to have a quick agreement with competitors, let's say, and they supply us for the required quality, and they used to offload some trucks over the night. It was a winter time, and we used to offload the trucks, feed the other lines, and by the end of that year, we make margin. This is unforgettable, tough moment, but by the end, we succeed, alhamdulillah. So, again, what defines resilient operations leader? So, as what we have said in the panel discussion, if you have the foundation, if you have the right people, they will support, they will empower you to get the job done, to maintain the plans, to lead the growth, let's say. So, they balance urgencies with long-term system health. If you will take a decision in solely without discussing with the front line, you will face the consequence. And if you will be closer enough, you will take the advantage of interacting and you can avoid accident or interruption because they know some details. They don't isolate. They lead with visibility and trust. Trust is very important. We should not neglect it. They extract growth from pressure, not just survival. Survival, it can be considered as a short-term success, but consistency, sustainability, it's really what matters. Final thought, resilience is built through repeated decisions that prioritize the system, not the shortcut. And here I'm telling about the success story, which I'm very proud of. But the question is, did I fail? Unfortunately, yes, many times. But the point is, here is the challenge, is stand up, listen from your fault, and move further. This can be one of the key criteria that you need to be maintained, not only for the practical and professional life, it's also for the personal. Again, I strive and I encourage you to explore how others manage high-stakes decisions in volatile environment. Gentlemen, please interact with me.
عندي شيء أبغى أشارك فيه بخصوص الكلمة اللي هنا. Let's explore how others manage with the high stakes decision. I believe in the operation we need people who's having risk management, risk evaluation, people who can step in when there is a crisis. And it's a quality, it's not in all leaders. There are some leaders who can manage the risk only, who can have the focus, who can gather all the team, can lead them on a crisis. But in the normal, he will be a part of the team. So those people you cannot identify. Only on situation, you will see them. And I believe like those people, we need them on the operation. Thank you.
Agree with you, agree. So how to identify the leaders, how to identify the people that they are willing and interested to do the change, how to identify the people that they will strive to think out of the box, the people that who is really interested. And one of the threats for the operations team is to convert some optimistic manpower into a burned employee or work in silence. It's silent resignation. which is one of the biggest threat for the manpower capability.
Assalamu alaikum.
Question for the gentleman here, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Here. I'm here. I am Hassan Mustafa, GMBB consultant and lead editor and trainer in pharma field for 30 years plus now. His story is if we determine a real goals at the first, then we build a competent team for that. Competence, this means persons should be qualified, trained, have skills, have attitude, have aptitude, and so. Then everything now should be built on risk assessment. If we determine real risk assessment, as mentioned by my colleague here, this will be good enough. And the team should go deeply and determine the SWOT analysis for the organization. We should have a real strategic management planning on the line, in the field. We should determine what is the capability we need, what is the sources we have, where we want to go in long and short term, should be both together. The story here, sometimes we go for incident. We wait till we have a problem, then we try to solve this problem, try to solve the problem. If we have a pre-planned activities, if we have a real quality system inside, supported by the management, we will save a lot of effort, we will save a lot of money and a lot of time. Thank you.
100% agree. Thank you for this. We have the gentleman here. You have a question? Could you please give him the mic?
Thank you. Bender Al-Kahlan again from CAXT. My question would be, as a decision maker in this specific domain, how often should a decision maker meet with a different type of group of teams in his ecosystem? Typically, what I have seen is just his meeting with, like, let's N-2 or N-1. So how about the other team members? Do you think it's important to meet with them at least once a month or once a quarter, just to hear from them directly to enhance the capabilities and avoid some items that it might be not obvious for the higher management?
Okay, let me rephrase your question and I will support an example. Usually during Q4, companies strive to shrink their expenses, to maintain the budget and to close the gap. And usually every quarter we got some announcement to shrink the overtime. And we have mainly two ways to execute. You can circulate this, print the paper, or circulate it across the emails, or you can go directly, for me as a director, to go directly and have a toolbox talk with the employees, the frontline team. I will tell them, look, gentlemen, we have a shrink plan, and we need to control our overtime. For every practice, believe me, it will succeed. So it depends on the decision. If it will affect their benefits, it will reflect their relation as a frontline operators, or let's say the baseline team members. It depends on how the way that we are dealing with them. It's really a small thing, but it's really matter. Upon the return from any employee, I am dealing with more than 500 team members distributed for over 100,000 square meter operation site. Once somebody coming from vacation, I strive to spend some few minutes with them, ask him about how has he spent his vacation, how is his family, what is his project. It's really meaningful for him. Some people, they need just to hear them, just to giving some appreciation. And the leaders, he strive to see what is the key for every team members that he is caring of to having the direction toward the improvement and development. I hope I answered your question. Thank you so much. Any other question? We don't have more time. Any other question? So I welcome you to join my network. It will be a great honor for me. Let's connect, let's collaborate, and let's make the industrial environment better. Thank you so much.